You're welcome to my Father Taught Me series, Special Information, Series 7, titled The Mindset of Confusion in the Transformation of Africa and the World. Dear beloved brethren, messengers of truth of the Most High and Christ, in the symbolism of number 1, truth, number 2, ignorance, number 3, confusion, number 4, mental slavery. Let us move from our last conversation, which was ignorance, to item 3 listed above, which is the major challenge of humanity, which is confusion. Hence, we are hereby encouraged to exercise patience, to put our hearts together and brace up to the challenge of confusion in Africa and by extension the world. This is a special presentation on confusion in the long-term sense of retransformation of the mindset of confusion about Africa and the world. Let us look at this subject matter from the context of our understanding of confusion, its origin, and how to confront the challenge in Africa and the world. So, question number 1, what is confusion? Some say confusion is 1, the state of being bewildered or unclear in one's mind about something. Then 2, uncertainty about what is happening, intended or required. 3, the state of being confused, disorder, upheaval, tumult, or chaos. Number 4, when you do not understand a difficult problem, state of disorder. Then number 5, lawlessness, chaos, disorder, disorganization. Those are the things that cause confusion. And finally, 6, a lack of clear and orderly thought. All the above definitions of confusion are on the realm of matters, the science of facts. But in the realm of the spirits, it can be absolutely defined as in the simple spiritual definition, confusion is the absence of truth. Vice versa, the absence of truth is confusion. Yes, again, the absence of truth or light is confusion or darkness. And the absence of confusion or darkness is truth or the light. Now, what is the truth or the light? Let's go to the book of John, chapter 14, verse 6. Christ said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Please don't get me wrong or get it wrong. The above statement, John 14, 6, stating, no man cometh unto the Father but by me. I once queried the veracity of the statement in the sense of equity and justice of a Most High on behalf of those who had no opportunity in other religions to hear or know anything about Christ. This agitation was in my mind until my eyes were opened to the fact that Christ represents the Spirit of truth, and the Most High is Spirit, and whoever worship the Most High must do so in truth and in spirit. Therefore, anybody on the side of truth that Christ stood for is what the statement portends for all. In other words, Christ is truth, and truth is the light of life. As Christ said in the book of John, chapter 8, verse 12, Then spake Christ again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. The power of the light of life depends on the source of the power of the light. In this case, the source of the power of the light of Christ comes from the Most High through Christ as the light of the world. Let us check out on our main subject, that is confusion and the spiritual origin of the darkness of confusion. The origin of every spiritual characteristic and attribute originated from the choice we made of the predominantly opposite spirits in us. The righteous spirit of the light of salvation and the unrighteous spirit of darkness and confusion unto death. These are two opposite spiritual attributes which manifest in the flesh and showcase the character of the spirit we yield to by choice, either for truth by choice or in deceit for evil by choice. The origin of confusion, therefore, can be traced to the source of deceit, a lie from the serpent that confused Eve and Adam to believe a lie that led to deceit until death. Again, lie, that is darkness, blinds people from truth, that is light, as it happened with Eve first and then infected Adam, which in turn caused people to grope in darkness of confusion, unable to understand anymore even their own identity and who they are in their blindness, However, the propagators of confusion are the rulers in the kingdom of Babylon. Babylon takes advantage of the intentional lies used to cast the spell of ignorance and subsequent confusion to subtly move in to steal, to kill, and to destroy whatever it considers the treasures of humanity, body, soul, and spirit in individuals, groups, race, and nations of the world. It was called Babylon the Great, renowned in the past as the greatest empire ever known to humanity. However, Babylon has just lost whatever was left of her, which diminished earthly highest symbol of power. As we can see, this is stunningly symbolic of the judgment of fallen Babylon, the master of evils, of orchestrated confusion in Africa and the world. To be blunt, the storyline of confusion goes like this. The serpent gave birth to lies, who gave birth to spiritual darkness in form of ignorance, who gave birth to confusion, who gave birth to misery in Babylon, who gave birth to fears of darkness that made up the kingdom of Babylon, whose head is the serpent. Question number 2. How do we now resolve the issue of retransformation of the mindset of confusion about Africa and the world? Answer. We need some of the following words of wisdom to guide us in order to proffer enduring answers to the above question. There is a saying that when you point an accusing finger to a culprit, 3 fingers are pointing to you. That is why, even in prayers, stated in the book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 4, and forgive us our sins, for we also forgive everyone that is indebted to us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Having read the above, here are some words of wisdom according to the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 3 to 4. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye? All humans are brothers and sisters on earth. The subtle serpent, through lies and spell of ignorance, has distracted our attention away from the commandment of the Most High in our Garden of Eden, the land of peace, to his serpent's kingdom of darkness, strife, pain, and violence. And we humans are divided by manipulation and deceit to fight each other. Matthew chapter 12, verse 25 to 26. And Christ knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. When humans are busy fighting each other and divided against and amongst themselves, they cannot stand. If Africa continent is divided against itself, it cannot stand. Even if the world is divided against itself, the world cannot stand. To fight this confusion, we needed to understand and catch up with the schemes of the serpent's game in wisdom of his craftiness. And the only weapon that have the capacity to obliterate the schemes of craftiness of the serpent is as provided for and demonstrated by Christ in the book of Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Based on the above words of wisdom, it makes our task easier as profiled below from items A to D. Which are some of the forthright 4 steps needed for the retransformation of the mindset of confusion about Africa and the world? Number 1, Africa should face the truth of our history in sober reflections from past and present perspectives. To face the truth with sober reflections, though, is the toughest subject for the ego in both sides of the divide in Africa to Africa and the world. As both sides refuse to remove in each other's eyes the blurring planks in order to see each other more clearly, to understand that both sides of the divide are in torment, and that the tormentor who was once tormented are both under these circumstances serving the same master that created the lies, the ignorance, the confusion, the pains, the strife between and among all humans of the species of brothers and sisters. Humankind are being craftily misled by the spirit of the master of deceptions in our hearts, called the spirit of the serpent. The Most High has solved this challenge of humanity through the demonstrated example of the righteousness and the spirit of truth. The spirit of truth of the anointed one called Christ, the Messiah of the world. The choice is now left to us to make in Africa for the spiritual upliftment through greatness of Africa and in preparation for the new world of eternity to come. Anybody who is not in the spirit of truth is in the spirit of self-conceit, which is what was working against Africa for a long time now, and by extension the world. It is the representation of lies, darkness, ignorance, fear, and confusion in the hearts of the sons of pride, which spirit by choice is allowed in to rule the hearts of both sides, that is Africa and the world. Therefore, Africa, rather than the endless emotional display of hatred and the blame game of pointing accusing finger out of frustration to our perceived past colonial tormentors, take note that three fingers are also pointing at us, Africa, concerning our own brothers, too, in position of leadership, still tormenting us almost worse than the past today. Africa should consider and understand from her past and present historical perspectives some facts needed in order to reassess where she got it wrong and remove the blank in its eyes in order to see more clearly even while the rain is still falling. Find some facts about Africa below: that the African continent was and is the most resource-abundant continent on earth. Resources such as gold, diamond, oil, natural gas, copper, uranium, among others. Historically, also in the past, Africa was home to world's oldest university, organized knowledge and human resources. And materially, it is on record historically that the richest man ever is African, Mansa Musa of Mali. His pilgrimage, generosity, and reputation awakened the world to the immense wealth of Africa, and in particular Mali. In other words, Africa really was without doubt, therefore, the Garden of Eden. Hence, in sober reflections, Africa, in truth, should earnestly ask these questions. Question 1. Where and how did we get it wrong, Africa? In this Garden of Eden gift of the Most High to Africa, number 2, how did it happen that Africa, that was once the Garden of Eden of the world, has now become the continent of the world's lowest indices of development? Now let's take some answers. Africa became the continent of the world's lowest indices of development because Africa was neither as wise as a serpent nor as harmless as a dove. An answer can be found also in the book of Genesis, discussing the condition of dressing and keeping the Garden of Eden given to Africa. That's stated in the book of Genesis chapter 2 verse 15. And the Most High took the man, Adam, and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. Remember, to dress it and to keep it. The Most High took Adam from wherever he was before and put him into his wealth, the privileged Garden of Eden, with privileged science of dressing and keeping the garden, and hence enjoy all the fruits in the garden, which is privileged labor responsibility of dressing and also security keeping the Garden of Eden. All of the above privileges were given based on one condition of no-go area. And that condition was stated in the book of Genesis chapter 2 verse 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. This allegorically was the story of Africa and by extension the world in the context of breaking the sanctity of the commandments of the Most High unto that of a graven image of indulgence in only what is beautiful in the eyes as we can see and desirable to touch and have, just like Eve and Adam. Then consequences follow according to the commandments of the Most High. Because the ultimate purpose of creations are to worship the Most High in praises. But when Africa, the beloved, now shifts worship to other images whatsoever, Africa, the beloved, has crossed the red line that the Most High was emphatic about, as stated in the book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 4 to 5. I read, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High, thy Creator, am a jealous Most High, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me." The Most High is no respecter of any person or thing other than keeping his commandments and acknowledging him in praise. Any violation of these two principles bring down a man as an individual, a group, a race, a nation, a region, a continent, and in fact, the whole world of his creations. The above did not exempt Africa in her ancestral images of idols and worship, which peradventure constituted a snare and temporary loss of her glory, as it has to be clear to Africa that those snares could not save her from the lurking adversaries of Babylon in 1885, when the Berlin Conference established the rules for the conquest and partition of Africa, in which process they legitimized the ideas of Africa as a playground for outsiders. Just like in the Garden of Eden, when the commandment, the hedge, was broken, allowing the serpent leeway to bite. Africa's mineral wealth has become a resource for Babylon to plunder, though not forever. But for the sake of a people in Christ, on behalf of Africa, who have repented with a penitent heart in the righteousness of the salvation of Christ, and unto the Most High, in a contrite heart, stated in the book of Psalms, chapter 51 and verse 17, the sacrifices of the Most High are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart, O the Most High, thou wilt not despise. In addition, at the decree of the holy ones, that men of Babylon will know that the Most High rules in the affairs of men. According to the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, Babylon, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. Therefore, Africa should take good lessons to eschew ego, vainglory, and make peace with her neighbors first. Act in love and brotherhood, to displace confusion with truth in unity. B. Africa shall repent of self-deceit, of pursuing the crumbles of shadows from mental slavery instead of the substance of truth in unity advocated by Christ. C. Africa shall acknowledge the realities in decorum of determination, faith, and hope in the Most High and the principles of His commandments. D. And finally, in order to be free of confusion, Africa shall apply the 5 code of conduct of messengers of truth of the Most High and Christ as shown below, and the world shall follow. So the code of conduct of messengers of truth of the Most High and Christ are as follows. Number 1, maintaining at all times the commandments of the Most High. Number 2, as stated in book of James chapter 4 verse 17, therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not to his neighbor, to him it is sin. Number 3, taken from the book of Matthew chapter 7 verse 12. Therefore, all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do even so to them. For this is the law and the prophet. Then item number 4, Matthew chapter 10 verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Number 5, taken from the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 19 to 20. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. You see, that sentence in the book of Matthew chapter 6, 19, 20, that you lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. It will be observed that in generations upon generations, one race will conquer another, and then will pillage and steal all the good things in the land. And another generation will come over and do the same thing all over and over. Now we continue in that race all over the world. That's why the emphasis by Christ, who says, your good works, that's righteousness, is equal to laying up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Though Africa has made the greatest forced sacrifices in slavery on earth to the world, but the freedom of Africa shall come forth when it moves further from sacrifices to what is more acceptable to the Most High, which are in short supply in Africa. There are issues of, number 1, judgment, 2, equity, 3, justice, 4, faith, and 5, mercy. The book of Proverbs chapter 21 verse 3 concluded it all, that to do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Most High than sacrifice. Thank you. We'll continue with the series. So my name is Steve Emmanuel Mojugbe, an author, a messenger, mftmsseries.com, a Nigerian, copyrights reserved. Remain blessed. Thank you.